Welcome to the second unit of Food and Power 101, which is food security. In this lesson, you will learn about food security and food redistribution. Let's start with a definition of food security. According to the UN Committee on World Food Security is when all people, at all times, have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets their food preferences and dietary needs for an active and healthy life. By contrast, food insecurity is the opposite, when people lack access to healthy food. You can think about it this way. Food security is feeling secure that you can afford and access the food you want, whereas food insecurity is feeling insecure that you can afford and access the food you want. There's a lot that's covered in this definition, so let's break it down. The first part talks about the physical, social, and economic aspects to accessing food. There needs to be enough food close by, there needs to be no social stigma or social barriers, and it needs to be affordable. Access is key here, because food can be present, but if there are physical, social, and economic barriers to getting that food, then it can't be accessed and used. Next in the definition, we have sufficient, safe, and nutritious food. So this is talking about the quality of the food. The presence of inedible, or unhealthy, or small amounts of food is not enough to guarantee food security. You can think of rotten or smushed food, junk food, or small portions of food. Then we have preferences and dietary needs, which is talking about the person's individual needs. For example, if you give bread to a gluten-free person, this does not increase their food security. And finally, we have an active and healthy life, which means that the goal of food security isn't just to keep people alive, but rather food security means that they have access to the adequate amount, quality, and types of food that allow them to thrive and lead healthy lives. But what does it look like when people's needs aren't met? It could look like an increase in chronic health conditions, more stress, more distress, an increase in mental health issues, feeling desperate, or overworking yourself to be able to afford food. It could also be invisible. You may not know by looking at someone if they live in a state of food insecurity.
Created using Powtoon.